So January 2026 is looking pretty wild for indie games already. We've got 10 really different games coming out throughout the month, and I'm going to run through each one quickly, so you know what to expect. Starting things off, we've got this game called Cairn, releasing January 29. This is a survival climbing simulator, where you're trying to reach the peak of Mount Kami, a mountain that has never been climbed before. You play as Ava, a professional climber. The climbing mechanics are really realistic here. You place your hands and feet on holes with simple controls, but you have to manage stuff like your posture, effort and balance. If you mess up, you fall. You have to survive the mountain by managing resources like pittance, chalk, finger tape, food, water and medicine. You can explore and plan your own routes up the rock face, instead of following a set path. Each wall seems to feel like a boss fight because the climbing is designed to be genuinely challenging. But yes, you can adjust the difficulty. The game is story driven and takes about 15 hours to complete. Next up is MIO Memories in Orbit, which releases January 20, and it's on Xbox Game Pass Day 1. This is a Metroidvania set on a derelict spaceship called the Vessel that's just drifting in space. You play as MIO, a robot that's trying to figure out why the ship's AI caretakers stopped working. The ship is overgrown with plants and full of rogue machines. As you explore, you're gonna repair damaged robots and learn about the ship's past. You unlock abilities like a grappling hook, air gliding, and wall clinching to reach new areas, so it has the typical Metroidvania structure. The game has more than 30 different enemy types and 15 boss fights. The combat lets you use your hook to dodge, throw orbs as projectiles, and also create decoy clones. You can customize your character by collecting enemy components and using modifiers to change how your abilities work. The presentation seems really strong. Number 3 is a game called Nova Roma, coming to early access on January 22nd. This is a Roman city builder from the people who made Kingdoms and Castles, so if you played that you will recognize the art style. The main hook here is the really detailed water simulation. You can build dams and aqueducts, and the water seems to actually flow realistically. You can create stuff like artificial watersheds and reservoirs, and you also have to worry about flooding. The water affects soil fertility too, so where you place things matters. Of course, you have to manage your citizens' needs like food, pottery and wine, while also keeping the Roman gods happy by building temples. If you upset the gods, bad things happen. Your citizens will slowly become artisans, gladiators and actors as your city keeps growing. The demo has 95% positive reviews, and it's published by Hooded Horse, which is a pretty nice publisher. Number 4 is a game called Kechora, which comes out January 8. This is an Indonesian puzzle platformer with a time loop story. You play as Kechora, and your village has been stuck reliving the same day over and over, so you and your friends try to figure out why this is happening. The game has a really nice hand-drawn look with traditional frame-by-frame animation. It's a party-based game where you have different companions with unique abilities that you use to solve puzzles. The game seems story-heavy with a lot of dialogue. Next up we have Steel Century Groove, coming out January 28. This is a rhythm-based RPG, but instead of regular rhythm game stuff, you are controlling giant war mechs in dance battles. The story is set in a world where these massive war machines are now used for dancing competitions instead of fighting. You build a team of these colossal dancers and compete for championships. You're choosing from your mech's abilities during the song. You can import your own MP3 files to play with custom music. As you play, you collect and upgrade mechs, equip them with mods, and pair them with backup dancers. Number 6 is DuneCrawl, which I have already done a more in-depth video. It's releasing very soon on January 5. This one's pretty cool and unusual. You are basically riding around on a giant crab through a desert. You become a crab keeper and travel around helping villagers and fighting off the invasion. The game essentially splits between two modes. When you are on your giant crab, you are managing different stations like cannons to fight other crawlers and enemy outposts. And when you dock at islands, you can explore on foot, do quests, fight in dungeons, and collect weapons and gear. You can play this solo with an AI buddy, or with up to 3 friends online or locally. Number 7 is a game called Cassette Boy, launching January 15th. This is a puzzle RPG based on quantum mechanics with a weird twist. Basically in this game, things stop existing if you're not looking at them. The game looks like simple pixel art, but it's actually 3D and you rotate the world to change what's visible from your perspective. If something is behind a wall and you can't see it, then it literally does not exist. The game has combat where you collect weapons and fight monsters and bosses. The story is about the moon disappearing because you were not looking at it, and now the world is falling apart. At number 8 we have Big Hops, which launches January 12th. This is a 3D platformer where you play as Hop, a frog with a really versatile tongue, and the tongue is the main mechanic. You use it to grab items, for movement and swinging around at high speeds. The movement system is pretty deep with rolling, diving, crouch jumping, wall running, free climbing, swimming and more. The unique part is that you can plant vegetables that do different things. Mushrooms become bounce pads, acorns grow vines you can climb, balloons make platforms, apples create swing points. The game has a story about Hop getting kidnapped by a trickster spirit, and you are trying to get home by collecting airship parts. You can explore different worlds, meet characters, and there is combat against various enemies. Number 9 on the list is Star Rupture, going into early access on January 6. This is a factory building game like Satisfactory but with wave defense mixed in. You're on this harsh alien planet called Arcadia that gets scorched periodically when a star it orbits ruptures. The world is not randomly generated, so everyone gets the same map with different biomes that have different resources. You'll be setting up extractors on resource nodes, building conveyor belts to move materials around, and constructing your base with modules similar to Subnautica. There's automation for mining and production, but some of the resources have to be collected manually. The factory buildings look pretty good with that industrial sci-fi vibe. You will of course also be fighting off alien creatures. You get weapons like shotguns and rifles, plus automated turrets. The game supports up to 4-player co-op, and there is a research system for unlocking new tech. And finally, number 10 is a highly anticipated game called Pathologic 3, which releases January 9. This is a psychological horror game. You play as this physician and researcher who came to a remote town looking for an immortal man. But surprise, a plague breaks out. The immortal guy dies, and you fail to stop it. Now you can rewind time and try again. You have 12 days to save the town from this plague. The game is about examining patients face to face, making diagnoses, and ultimately trying to develop a vaccine. You also have to make pretty tough decisions about how to run the town during the outbreak, like enforcing quarantines, confiscating medicine, deploying patrols, and declaring curfews. Your mental state affects how you see events too. If you fall into apathy or mania, it changes your perspective and might even kill you. So that's the top 10 indie games coming in January 2026, but not nearly all of them. I will cover all of these and more in my usual 3-minute format throughout January. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.